Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha. Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikyamaulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apinamakshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Gadasta Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous chapter, we have seen how exactly Vishukra had thrown a Mahavigna Yantra, a Jaya Vigna Yantra, in the midst of the Shakthi army, making all of them lazy and losing the enthusiasm to fight against the Danavas. On finding this, Devi Lalita created Mahaganesha by looking into the eyes of Kameshwara. Mahaganesha then found the Jayavigna Yantra and chewed it to powder and burnt all the devatas bound to it. And then he created a huge army of the Gananayakas, and they all started fighting along with the enthusiastic damsels. They started fighting against the Vishukra's army. And in the meantime, Vishukra created the Gajasura with his own army, and that Gajasura was slain by Mahaganesha himself. Finally, Vishukra retreated from the battlefield. Bhandasura, in the meanwhile, bent his head in shame at the news that Vishukra had run away from the battlefield, while all the Shakti damsels laughed with scorn. Recovering, however, from this ill mood, he called again unto him his two brothers Vishukra and Vishanga, and roused their courage and wrath against Lalita and her damsels by appropriate words of praise and pride. Vishukra gathered around him 400 Akshauhinis, and besides his brother Vishanga, he was also accompanied by Ulukajit and his brothers, the sons of Bhandasura's sister Dhumini. Banda himself had taken pains to give military training to his nephews and made them mighty warriors. The conjoined strength of all these great heroes could uproot the three worlds. The Devatas became frightened at this combined strength and trembled to think of their fate or to anticipate the result of the war. Even the Shakti horse became timid at the approach of this mighty Dhanava Tankos against them. Though inwardly fearful, they put up a brave fight and answered the call of their chiefs Dandini and Mantrini without hesitation. Soon there was an exchange of arrows, following the blowing of trumpets on either side, signifying the commencement of battle. Mantrini Shyamalamba rode on her Geya Chakra chariot, while Dandini Varahi came riding on her Kiri Chakra chariot, bringing back courage and strength to the Shakti armies. Devendra and his devatas, watching them go to war, grew bolder and more confident of success, while Munis pronounced blessings, Gandharvas sang praises, and the Apsaras danced before them. Both Shamala Devi and Dandini Devi looked equal to one another in splendor, prowess, and pomp. Mantrini, as Prime Minister, wore a ring of authority given by Lalitambika. Drawing their bowstrings and releasing them, they both created peculiarly fearful vibration which brought courage to the Shakti damsels while making the Danava horse tremble with fear. Approaching the scene of the battle, both Mantrini and Dandini released showers of arrow on the enemy lines, injuring and slaying millions of them. Dandini Devi charged at Vishanga and hit him with her club. while Mantrini rushed at Vishukra and hit him likewise. There was a challenge. Soon there followed an exchange of blows and weapons of war between the main leaders on either side, most fearful to behold. Horsemen met horsemen, elephant riders fell on elephant riders on the opposite side, and chariots charged onto chariots. Thus each side met its equal on the other. As for the great warrior nephews of Bhandasura, Ashwaruda Devi engaged Ulukajit, Sampadishwari Sampadeshi attacked on Purushan. Mahamaya met Kunti Shesha, while Unmatta Bhairavi fell on Malatha. Kurusena, Kusurena was attacked by Lagushyama, while Sapaneshi charged at Mangalaksha. Vagwadini fell upon Drugana. Chandakali attacked Kollata. Also, the Shakti Akshauhinis fell upon the Danava Akshauhinis, and the battle on this third day of war grew to be greater and more fierce than that of the previous 2 days. The Shakti damsels, full of energy, excelled the Danavas and slew them right and left. While the Danavas grew weaker in strength and numbers, watching this state of affairs, Vishukra became wrathful and desperate, and to save the situation, he released the Thrustrastra onto the Shakti host, causing the thirsty for each one of them. Instantly, there was a mysterious fires all over the Shakti ranks, and they began to be scorched inwardly. One side, they were already feeling the thirsty, and now on the other side, the fire is causing them to scorch inwardly. Their senses began to smart, their limbs became weak, their throats dried up, their cheeks shriveled, their jaws sagged, and their bodies burned with fever. Many fell to the ground, unable to bear the thirst, and their glazed eyes protruded. In short, the Shakti damsels lost their beauty and became ghastly and pitiful to look at. Mantrini and Dandini Devi conferred together with a view to end this sudden disaster. After a prolonged deliberation, Mantrini advised Dandini to send for Madhira Sindhu, who resides on one of the 7 tiers of Kiri Chakra itself. Obeying Mantrini's advice with alacrity, Dandini Devi immediately sent to Madhira Sindhu. Thus, in this part of the story, both Vishukra, Vishanga, along with Utkala and other great fighters, they charged into the Shakti army on the third day of the war. Then a fierce battle started, and at the height of the battle, Vishukra threw a Thrustrastra towards the Shakti host, and the Thrustrastra, as the name suggests, it caused thirsty to all the Shakti Ganas. And at the same time, he threw a mysterious fire over the Shakti rank, which began to scorch them inwardly. And because of that reason, with their throats drying up, they started losing their strength to fight against them. And on seeing the pitiful fate of their entire army, which is going down because of the thirsty, Mantrini Devi suggested Dandini Devi to invoke Madhira Sindhu, who is located in the Kiri Chakra itself, because Madhira Sindhu will go in to invoke a ocean of Madhira, a ocean of liquor, into the battlefield to satisfy the thirst of all the Devis. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmir Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.